Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Friday with Dannphan. Yes, it is a different location. Occasionally, I have to record down here at the work desk. Some of you may be familiar with it at this point. This is technically, yes, the work desk, but it's kind of just in an open room. So if you hear a little bit of awkward audio echo, yes, that's because this is all open space and I just put a desk here in the corner. It's also where I do my gaming, so I just have this slapped down on the desk and my arm will occasionally knock into it. It's not the best work desk, but it's mine. Let me know if the audio is working okay, by the way. I don't want to just be miming throughout this stream. I think it's all set up and ready to go. So here we are. It's been a rough week. I gotta be honest. So last week I was at BaseCon, of course. I did the tweets about this, and I said this last time that I was going to BaseCon. That was like a whole week thing. That was really quite a trip because it's all the way in Michigan and we drove all the way. So we just like dedicated a day to driving and then a day to driving back. Or actually the drive up there, we split into 2 days, but it was 1 day straight drive home, 11 hours, not including stops, just 11 hours of driving. That was ambitious, but we did it. And unfortunately, it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best experience. My camera turned into a potato. Yeah, that's because of the autofocus thing. Occasionally, it'll just do that. And there's nothing I can do about it because it's automatic. Because they think that the smart camera knows better than me. So it's like, no, you can't do it manually. It'll do it for you. And you must like it or else. But yeah, so it was really disorienting coming back, not just because of the 11-hour drive, but there was also, while we were away, there was tragically a death in the family. So as soon as we got back from this 11-hour drive, the very next day we went to a funeral. So that's not, it's not the very happiest start to the week. And then after that, literally like the next day, Charlie Kirk gets assassinated live on television. Also not very fun. And then like what comes after that? Oh, it's just 9/11. So yeah, it's been a little bit of a bummer week. But BaseCon was cool. The actual convention was nice. We had a fun time while we were there. It's just a shame that like the following week it's just like bam, 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 all of these negative things happening. Yeah, rough week. No kidding, man. It was, like I said, it was really disorienting just because there's so much all at once. It was rough. But actual BaseCon was cool. We did actually have fun, made some friends, talked to Free Comment in chat here. Can confirm BaseCon was pretty nice, yeah. It's a very short, sorry, dog is trying to play with me. I can't play with you. Oh, I know, you just wag all the way. I can't play with you. I'm trying. This is the problem with doing a stream in the middle of a very open room. Yeah, I know. You hear the jingle of his collar, I'm sure. He hears me screaming, and he's like, I must make Dannphan feel better. I guess is the idea. He's just a glutton for pets. That's all he wants. Yeah, I know. You're a glutton. You're a glutton for pets. Maybe he wants to go out. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's been a pretty awful week overall. Sorry for your loss. It was a pretty rough week for sure. And then the Ukrainian woman. That's true. That was last week. Yeah, a lot of just terrible stories, but trying to like make this a more positive stream. On the bright side, the weather's not that bad. Eh? The weather's been pretty nice. It's sunny outside. That's cool. That's nice. All right, Doggo's gonna lay down for a bit. He got his pets. Now he's happy. An up and down week. Hopefully, after today's Nintendo Direct, things stay up. Yeah, that's you got Nintendo Direct. Silk Song came out. It's been a long time, and now Silk Song is finally out. I'm planning to play that on stream sometime. I don't know when though. I don't know when's a good time. We have to like kind of sync up for Dannphan streams. Make sure. Yeah, September weather is nice. It's got that nice coolness so that you're not cooking all the time. Yeah, Super Mario Bros. Galaxy movie announced. Interesting. We'll see where that goes. Still need to finish the original Hollow Knight. Yeah, I technically do too. I didn't get the good ending where you like finish the White Palace. I just couldn't do it. It's platforming, it's not that I dislike platforming, but I'm not good at it. It's quite ambitious to think that I could get through that an entire level on this fucking jumping and down attacking on buzzsaws. It's not gonna happen. Come on. Come on, Hollow Knight. Just give me good ending. But other than that, I mean, I finished the game and got the bad ending, so there's that. I just didn't do the White Palace part. So I guess that's good enough. I don't know. Maybe I need to polish up my skills a little bit, and then I'll return to OG Hollow Knight. But I really want to play the Silk Song, the new game, because it looks super cool. People have been waiting for it for a long time, obviously, and it's probably very fun. At least I've been hearing like very positive things about it. I also heard some people complaining about it, specifically because it wasn't a political game. Isn't that a funny thing to hear people complaining about? I don't like this game because it's not political. You should put my politics in your game. Then it'll be good. Yeah, no, that's not how that works. Not how that works. But to some extent, maybe I get it. I get why people would think that, because, for the past however many years, we have had a lot of heavy politics put into all of our media. At this point, people are expecting it. That doesn't mean that you should do it, but I understand why people would maybe be expecting a game about bugs fighting like Dark Souls to be political. It's not, though. It's not supposed to be political. It's just for, fun. And that's what's great about it. Do you need to play Hollow Knight to understand Silk Song? I don't believe so. Hollow Knight was pretty light-handed on the story. And Silk Song is a different character. You're playing as a different character than in the first game. But even the first game, it was very light on the story. It kind of like Dark Souls, but I would argue that it might have had even less story than Dark Souls. One of those ambiguous, kind of left up to your interpretation type of things. But yeah. Yeah, something about a trans character in Hollow Knight Silksong. They wanted there to be a trans character in Hollow Knight Silksong, but there wasn't, and they were mad about it. That's what I heard anyway. I don't know. I didn't do a deep dive into this, but I heard that they were mad that Silksong didn't have any activism in it. And they were like posting about like, oh, you could have used your platform to like, to serve my personal politics, blah blah blah, whatever they said. But like I said, games should be fun. Prioritize being fun. You don't have to put politics in them. It's fine. It's fine to not have politics in your game. That's not a negative thing. But you know how some people are. Some people are weird. I get it. Hello Wednesday. Oh yeah, because of my braids. I get it. I've seen the small controversy involving Wasp from Silksong considered transcoded. No clue. No clue about that, but I heard that they were mad. How was BaseCon? BaseCon was cool. It was based, as usual. We did make a good bit of money. We always make pretty good sales at BaseCon. It's just a shame that it's so far away. And they were thinking about maybe changing the location, but it doesn't sound like that's really solidified. It is, like I said, 11-hour drive is no picnic to get to BaseCon, but we always do good in terms of the sales, and we meet a lot of cool people there and have interesting conversations, I would say. Some better than others, but interesting nonetheless. One of the really motivating things about it, and why we decided to keep going after we went the first time, is because people there actually read, which is not the experience that you always get when you go to these anime conventions or even these comic conventions. Not everyone there is there to pick up books. A lot of people are there to just pick up, like, clothes or toys or something that reminds them of a popular IP. Like, ooh, I remember My Little Pony. I want that t-shirt, etc., but not really to pick up new material, indie material to read and give you feedback on or review or support. That was not our experience when we went to BaseCon the first time. First time we went to BaseCon, many people would just buy everything at the table, and then they'd read the comic, and they'd come back the next day, and they're like, I read this comic yesterday. It was great. When's the next one coming out? Like very motivating, good people who are not, it's not like they're being disingenuous with their interest, and that's what I really like about it. I like that it's very honest, very honest, like, yes, I want to read your stuff, I want to like your stuff, I want to support your stuff. That was what we really enjoyed about BaseCon the first time we went. And that's why, of course, we decided to come back. And there were a bunch of new people there that we didn't see last time, so we got to meet new people. Unfortunately, I did not have as many new books as I would have liked. Pretty much all I had that was new on the table was Sonic City Witch, because I'm still working on Reaper Book 2, and that's rough. I wish I was done. I do. I wish I was done Reaper Book 2, but no, we're only really midway through Book 2. We still got a lot of work to do with that. But people did buy Sonic City Witch. I did sell out of that one, and I sold more comics to people who didn't buy them last year or weren't there last year, and that was great stuff. Some people, one person in particular popping by, and he's like, "Do you have Reaper Book 2 yet?" And I'm like, "No, I'm sorry. I'm still working on it. Forgive me. A full year has passed and I don't have the sequel ready. No, I made it longer." It is, though. It's double the length of the first book. It's going to take longer to finish. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm just glad that somebody was interested in seeing the next book. Not only interested in seeing the next book, but enough that he would remember it after a year, come up to my table and ask for the next one. That's really nice. That's what's the word I'm looking. I mean, it's motivating, right? Because it makes you feel like, okay, it's not for nothing. People are actually enjoying this thing that I'm making. Oh, thank God, it's not for nothing. And I don't want to sound petty, but you do kind of need that sometimes. You do need that little reassurance that it's not for nothing. Because sometimes it just feels like you're making stuff and it's going into the void and nobody's really interacting with it. It's not having an impact on anybody. But my goodness, it was nice. It's really nice hearing back from people who have read my stuff. Makes me feel better. So yes, Reaper Book 2 is hopefully going to be done by early next year. I'll keep updating as, some things are sorted out. But yeah, I cannot wait to get that up on the website and get that to readers who are waiting for it, of course. But yeah, and we met some fans. Of the channel. Funny enough, there was this couple that we met there, and they usually when people are fans of me and Adam, they discover us through my channel. Not this time. They discovered us through Adam's channel. Some of you probably don't even know that Adam has a YouTube channel, but he does. He has his own YouTube channel where he mostly posts kind of story time videos. He talks about some of his experiences that he had on this crazy liberal campus that he went to, because it's very, he has a lot of really goofy stories. And occasionally he'll tell these stories on the Game Fans channel. If you guys follow that, feel free to follow that, of course, if you want to see us gaming. But so they met us through one of the videos that he uploaded on his channel. And we looked back at the video just to see, oh yeah, is this a really good video that they found us through? It sucks. The video sucks. I mean, it's fine, right? But the audio is all fucked up. There's there's so much empty space that wasn't properly edited out. It's but somehow that was enough. That was enough for them to become a fan of Adam's channel and then go over and then find my channel. You never know. Especially with YouTube's algorithm. You never know if your video is going to be discovered by people who will become your best fans out there. And that video, when we looked back at it, it had 120 views. Very low count. I mean, granted, it's high compared to other channels that are just starting out on YouTube, but very low in comparison to everything else. Oh my goodness. It was so funny. It was so interesting to hear from. I wish I got to talk to them more, actually, but they did join the Dannphan Discord. So maybe we will get to talk to them more about how they discovered us in such a way. And if you'd like to join the Dannphan Discord, it's a new Discord right there down below in the description. Check it out. I'm sorry, I've been ranting. I should be reading chat. I've neglected you guys. Adam has a YouTube channel. Yeah, he does. What are some of the goals you have for Burning Star? Well, I mean, the biggest goal I guess any indie publisher has is like increasing the reader base and having enough consistent income to make it more of a legitimate publisher, I guess. I mean, that's what everybody wants, right? They want to be more legitimized by having a stronger, bigger reader base. It's the hardest part of trying to start up your own self-publishing or indie publishing or just doing comics in general is trying to figure out, okay, how do I get to the readers? How do I expand this? How do I market this? Marketing is such a confusing world to get into. Even people who have a degree in marketing don't know much about marketing. It's so difficult. But, I mean, part of the reason why is because algorithms kind of pushing for certain types of content, and they don't want you to be able to really market your own stuff with a free account, if you know what I mean. You know, a lot of these social media sites, they want you to have to pay to market your stuff. They don't want you to be able to naturally market your stuff like the way that I've done here on YouTube by making these videos about comics and then like pointing people to go check out my content. Ideally, they don't want you to be able to just do that, which is why you have Instagram, for example. You have to pay to get some sort of like, I don't know, is it like a business Instagram account or something? But if you pay for that, it's like a subscription, and then they'll let you put links in your posts, and they'll like push your posts more so that it's more advertised. Whereas if you're just browsing Instagram, chances are you're never going to discover an account that has only a certain amount of followers. The algorithm is just going to suggest to you whatever. It's just going to suggest to you popular content usually, or content that's being pushed by a business account. But, you know, it's not designed to really help you discover you know, stuff that you would be interested in that has low follower counts. And I thought Dannphan was Adam's channel. Well, Dannphan is both of our channels. We do it together, which is why there's a ootsy cutesy picture of us both in the icon. Let's see, on time to catch a bit of your stream, but hope you're doing good. Time for bed. Yeah. There's a new Discord. Yes, finally. Oh, absolutely. Everyone, join the Discord. It's nice. I made it all organized and pretty. Instagram sucks. Yeah, I've heard that. I mean, not too long ago, you might remember I did this kind of interview style video with the artist behind The Way Long Back. He's also working on other projects besides that are looking pretty nice, I gotta say. But he was saying that he did one of those advertised or boosted posts, whatever you call it. Every website has a different name for it. But basically, you boost a post so that it acts like an advertisement to get people to click on the link and like go buy your prints or whatever you're selling. He did one of those, and he got shit tons of likes, but no sales. Not a single sale, zip zero. And that's one of the frustrating things about these types of social media that are based solely on scrolling. just scrolling. Just you like, scroll. Don't like that one, keep scrolling till you find something you do like. But there's not a whole lot of interaction. Not a whole lot of commenting, not a whole lot of intrigue. I gotta find where to buy this type of thing. And granted, it depends on the type of person using Instagram. I know certain types of people will see like some fun, nifty gadget on Instagram and they'll buy it. But for artists, it's more difficult. Because when you can just like an art piece, scroll, like another art piece, and scroll, and the last thing on your mind is, oh, I need that for my wall. And that's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. So I don't know what to suggest to people when it comes to actually marketing your comics or your art. It's very difficult. If I had a hard, concrete solution for people, I would give it to them. But honestly, the best things that I have seen in current day, anyways, that actually does work for marketing your comics is collaboration. Obviously, doing YouTube here is helpful for me, but I've built up this channel for a very long time. Not everybody who just, boom, starts a YouTube channel tomorrow is going to actually build up traction, because I think it is actually much harder to build up a YouTube channel from scratch now than it has ever been in the past. I think it was much easier in the past. Now I think it's harder. Take that as you will. That's my own personal opinion. But YouTube is great. Collaborating with other creators, I would say, is better. Going on other people's streams, you don't even have to build up your own YouTube channel if you can just pop on somebody else's YouTube channel and promote your work. I think all of that has worked better than actually paying for advertisements. Honestly, I do. I think it's worked even better. And the funny thing is, that's all free. That's all free promotions. You just go on somebody's channel and talk about your work. And I've noticed that it's the most you can do to actually promote it, is to go straight to people who actually buy comics, talk to them about your comic, and sell them on it. And talk to other creators about what they're working on, and work on like collaborating with them, and building a community is really powerful. But yeah, sorry. let me get to some chat before I rant too much. Now, my weekly donation, glad you had a good con. Thanks, Mark. Good to hear from you, of course. Thanks for the super chat as usual. Let's see, the only social media platform that translates into actual sales is YouTube, specifically live streams. Yeah, I mean, like, it does feel like that, doesn't it? I also tried, I did do paid ads on Twitter, because I occasionally will get sales through, like, tweet posts, because I can, I can track clicks and related to sales through my website. So occasionally I'll get a click from Twitter. Not from the promoted post, though. I did a promoted post, zip, 0. But all the posts that I did for free, all of the posts that I just did regularly, talking directly to people who were following me, all of that got me actual sales. In a way, it's really the being personal about it and being direct towards people who are already interested in you as an artist, that will get you much farther than just blasting a a banner with your comic somewhere. I wouldn't be against the idea of also handing out flyers just in your hometown or anything like that. I don't think that's terrible because some people want to support locals. You know, once again, that sense of community. Of course, depending on the content of your comic, maybe it's not a very local friendly type of comic. Maybe it's a little bit, I say this because when we were promoting Horizon Quest and we occasionally would be told not to put up a banner, or, well, we just had like printed out papers that we were putting up. And we would occasionally be told, no, you can't put that up here because on the cover of Horizon Quest, especially, we have the character Astrid, who is very well endowed. Very well endowed, I will say. Hang on. I'll pull up the actual comic so some of you can see what I mean here. Yeah, let me share the screen. So, yeah, big titties, as you can see. Big tatas. And they were like, I don't know if that's really kid-friendly tatas you got going on here. And now, to be fair, it wasn't just the cover of Horizon Quest. We also had, on the same poster, the cover for Slayer in the Wide Valley, which, once again, we had big tatas. Great tatas. I like those tatas. Maybe a little bit too much on the bottom here. Maybe should have given her some underwear or something. But, you know, you get the point. She's supposed to be a sexy sorceress. Whatever. Whatever. So some people were like, okay, that's too much. That's probably too much. I got kids around this coffee shop. Can't put your Tata poster up here. To be fair, that same coffee shop had a lot of not kid-friendly stuff in the coffee shop, but tatas were going too far. No tits, though. You need an alternative cover? Maybe. I mean, I guess the alternate cover would have been the back cover, but we didn't have that done yet. Ugh. It's fine. But I don't hold anything against her, of course, for saying that we couldn't put it up. It's just for future reference, if you have a comic with ginormous tits on the cover, keep that in mind if you're trying to promote it locally, that some people are going to be, like, repulsed by that. I remember, like, once at this other convention in New York, we had a younger girl. She must have been in, like, middle school or something. And she really wanted to buy Horizon Quest, but obviously she had to get her dad to, buy it for her. And he looks at it, he, like, flips through it, and he's like, nah. And then he puts it back and then, like, takes her away right in front of us. It's like, okay, I see how it is. Whatever. It's not that bad. Relax. It's just tatas. But yeah. It is what it is. Yeah, looking respectfully. Thanks for the memory. Yeah, they are covered up, technically. But puppies do not run free. Yeah. But anyway, like I said, I only mentioned because if you are going to put up flyers or if you are going to promote your comics locally, just keep these things in mind. Because obviously the more friendly it is for general audiences, the more people are going to let you put up the flyer in the store or wherever you're putting it up. And then, like I said, people do really respond to knowing that something is local, that it's a local creator making that. That's like, that makes it more meaningful to them, because there is some pride in where you come from. So, if you want to better represent your city or your town, or you want there to be, you want this to be known as being the place where like cool artists started their comics, that's how people see it anyways. Why they want to support local projects like that. But yeah. There's manga that's much worse that kids are reading. Oh, yeah. Oh my god, did I ever tell you guys that Adam was running this Dungeons and Dragons session at one point, and the kids who were a part of that group were like really young. They were like 10, 12 or something. And then they like make a reference to Goblin Slayer, and they're all talking about watching Goblin Slayer. And Adam was like, whoa, no. If something could repulse Adam, that would have been it. He's like flying backwards like, you are too young to be watching that show. Whew, but yeah. That was crazy. I wasn't there. He just told me afterwards. But I was like, oh, that's really young for that. And some of you might know, but what was it, Amazon? Or was it Netflix? Some streaming service put up Goblin Slayer claiming that it was PG at one point. And it wasn't until like way later that they corrected the rating, because it's a very rated R type of anime. But for a while there were actually young kids, watching it. That was Crunchyroll. That's even worse. If it's Crunchyroll, that's even worse, because they should know. I could see like some other normie streaming service like getting it mixed up, like teehee, it's a cartoon, so therefore it's for kids. Crunchyroll, however, there's no excuse for that one. Yeah, that's really bad. Horizon Quest mousepad with booby wrist. Yeah, we're working on it. We'll get that ready for Horizon Quest 2 campaign right after I finish Reaper Book 2. There's still a lot of work to be done on Reaper Book 2. I did pick up some actual books from BaseCon as well, of course, because most of what they sell at BaseCon are actually novels. People writing their own books. Some of them just doing it because, but some of them actually being writers who write their own books. And there's some interesting stuff out there. I have not finished all of them, of course. I'm very close to finishing this one, though. I could probably finish it in like 1 or 2 more sittings if I really wanted to. I'm like, look, I'm that far in, right? So just this a little bit more to go. And then there was this other one. I don't have it like next to me, so I can't just pull it out. But the other one was The Revenant and the Tomb, which actually turns into a series. And I read the first prologue book, It was okay. It's fine. I have not read the rest in the series yet, though. But that'll be interesting when I get there. I it's difficult because part of me does want to review something if I have strong feelings of it, especially indie stuff. If I have like something to say or some feedback to give, my initial reaction is I gotta review this thing, especially because it's indie. Like people don't know that this exists. I should say how I feel about it and let the writer improve their work and let other people know about it, etc., etc. But obviously, you know, it's novel first of all, so maybe some people aren't gonna care because I'm more of a comics channel. And then additionally, very often when I review indie comics, even some people don't care unless it's something that they recognize. I feel like people maybe care even less about like actual books like these, especially nowadays when ADHD rules all. But you know, I think it is good for your brain to sit down and read an actual novel every now and then. On top of reading comics, of course, because comics are king. But novels are also good because they kind of force you to slow down and use your imagination more, of course, because you don't get the pretty pictures. You know, there's that. I felt bad because I know damn well I don't have time to read all these books at BaseCon. I wish there were more visual artists. Yeah, we might have more comics at BaseCon in the future. Who knows? You know, they were saying that they were thinking about inviting some people, see if they wanted to come, maybe having special guests. You know, they're looking for more ways to like make it better and expand, and I think it'll be cool. Thanks again, Mark. I bought those comics for the story, I swear. Yeah, in regards to Horizon Quest. The Big Tatas? Oh, yeah. Reading for the plot. Absolutely. Oh, it's getting darker in here. Sorry, guys. I'm turning into a ghoul. We have spooky lighting. I guess that makes sense because the pumpkin spice is on the grocery store shelves. So that means this, you know, the whole entire world is turning into spooky season now. We're going to start seeing more and more Halloween stuff. Starting with the filter on this camera. It has already turned into Halloween filter. I am now officially in a horror game. What are you going to do? I mean, I guess I could turn on this light here, but I feel like if I turn on this light, it's going to look even spookier because the light is going to be coming down on me. It's brutal. But yeah, I guess I'll just leave it for now. Anyway, what the heck was I talking about? I was talking about novels, reviewing novels. My ADHD brain. It's insane. Okay, let's see what we have on the reactions, reaction requests on Discord. Do we have anything good? Let's see, we got reaction requests. First one on here is change your profile pic to Clippy. So I did hear from a friend what this is about, what the profile to Clippy thing is about. It's nothing really that important. It's just kind of like, well, I heard it explained like two different ways. And one of the ways that it was explained to me was that Clippy is supposed to be a symbol of what AI should be, which is not some sort of crazy data harvester, but rather instead something that's just helpful and doesn't like, it's not invading your privacy, essentially. It just wants to help. And Clippy is helpful and not malicious in any way. And so people would like to see technology revert back to those days where instead of invading your privacy or collecting your data for profit, instead it should just be figuring out ways to help you. And that's how I was explained the Clippy thing, which is why you'll see many people changing their icon to Clippy. It's sort of in protest of what modern day technology looks like and how they're not. They don't really care. But it's not, if you, whether or not you change your profile pic to Clippy, it's not actually changing anything. It's not actually doing anything, I guess. It's just one of those I stand with this movement type of things, which I would argue maybe it's more beneficial to, instead of doing something like that, you know, use, like, there are these people who will spend a lot of their resource and time making this campaign for people to like spread awareness, and that's its own kind of thing. I'm not really much of an awareness type of person. I like alternatives. Like, I like all that time and resource and money to be put towards an actual physical alternative to what we have right now. If you make an alternative to Microsoft and it works and it's great and it's not invading my privacy, the same thing with Google or YouTube. If you're making an alternative to all of these things and they work, they're not going to invade my privacy, and that would be great. That's all wonderful. Sorry, I know, potato cam again. Sometimes when I like force it to reset, it's just not working now. It's hard to keep up with this. But yeah, so I prefer campaigns that are designed to do something like that, as opposed to being like just about spreading awareness. Because I feel like most people are aware, they're just desensitized to it, you know? They've just lost the ability to care because they see it as, well, it's something that I can't do anything about. So therefore, nothing's going to happen. And that's not good. Oh my god, hey, Potato Cam fixed itself. Nice! I didn't have to do anything, it just fixed itself. Oh wow, AI is so good now, guys. But yeah. And then we also have this other video that was put into the reaction request, which is when Netflix accidentally made a Christian movie. It's about K-pop demon hunters. Not that Netflix never makes anything Christian-esque. Oh, sorry. I thought I was sharing my screen, but it must have blipped out. Yeah, not that Netflix has never made anything like Christian, but the idea that it's accidentally a Christian movie kind of makes me respect it less. I want them to do it on purpose. Like, if they make something that's anti-demon, pro-Christian, I want it to be on purpose. I want it to be intentional. It's like saying, well, a shooter accidentally killed a shooter was trying to kill a child, but instead they killed a pedophile. Therefore, the shooter is good. No, their intention was to kill a child, but they accidentally did something great. maybe that's I don't know. Is that the best example? My point is, it would be great if it was intentional instead of accidental. This is like 18 minutes long, though. I don't think I can actually react to all of this in this particular. But I know that people wanted me to watch this movie. I still have not seen it because I don't really like it, but I understand why other people like it and want me to watch it. I get it, for sure. But, you know, I don't like K-pop. I don't really like the animation style. It's, you know, it's one of those things. I don't know if this would really appeal to me. And I feel like if I watch it and it doesn't appeal to me, and if I don't like it like I suspect I wouldn't, people are going to be mad at me. You know, people are going to be really disappointed. And it's like, well, I already told you that this wasn't for me. And that's how it goes, you know? I guess it's because part of it is people want something to be so good that it even makes people who would not normally like it. Maybe as a validation thing. But you don't need me to validate something that you like. Like, I'm not that person. I'm not a person that you need to have approval from. You can just like whatever you want. Well, let me see. I think the movie's lessons are general enough for people to transpose a lot of things onto it. Maybe. Perhaps. The themes in K-pop Demon Hunters is rooted in Korean folklore that may have some similarities to some Christian beliefs. That's fair. Totally fair. What is this now? One time as a kid, I was at an archery range and they had 3 targets set up, a fake turkey and a fake deer. I hit the deer in the heart, the first person all day to do it. I was aiming for the turkey. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's a pretty good analogy there, I guess. Also, congratulations. Wise man once said, even if it's the best thing ever, I won't like it, it's not my jam. And if something is mid, I might still love it because it's my jam. Yeah, that kind of summarizes it, huh? I like plenty of bad movies too. So you don't have to rely on just my tastes to validate if something is good or not. I've liked a lot of bad movies in the past, even knowing that they're not very good movies. Sometimes it's just my jam. Sometimes it is my jam. What can I say? Let me see. Here's a channel that reviews stuff. So who would like you to review K-pop Demon Hunters? Well, when was the last time I reviewed a cartoon movie? Like, I struggle to call it a cartoon because it's like, CGI animation. I don't know if I should call it something else, right? Because people think cartoon, they think of 2D animation. What would I call it? But it is for kids, right? It's like a kids movie. I think the last kids movie I've ever done any review on for this channel maybe was Lightyear? Maybe? That was like years ago. And I sort of got sick of ever watching whatever kids movies came out because they were all very much not my jam. What can I say? It's a refreshing film in comparison to, say, Disney and Pixar animated movies. Yeah, but so is anime. You know, watching any anime, you just throw a dart on a board. Any anime that it hits is very refreshing in comparison. He thinks I'm a kid prodigy archer. It's very funny. Let's see. At least you said you aren't going to watch it. Something the tourists from the Anime Men should have admitted when doing their terrible ranking vid. Oh, they did a ranking of it and they didn't even watch it? I wouldn't have done that. That's weird. It's weird at the very least. I mean, like, I don't know. Maybe I can watch it if you really want me to that bad. I just don't want anyone to be upset if I don't like it. That's like a whole other thing, you know? Is people getting upset if I don't just fall in line. Like King of the Hill, the new season came out. I didn't even finish it. I got 3 episodes into the new season of King of the Hill. I did not have the heart to finish it because I did not like any of those episodes. And I was like, okay, so King of the Hill's dead, I guess. I still have the tab open with the new season, and I keep on wondering, like, should I watch the rest? Should I force myself to watch the rest of this and then review it? Or if I do give it a negative review and I don't like it, am I just going to get like dragged through the mud on YouTube for not liking something that other people do? Because I like the original King of the Hill, and you know what I experienced did not feel like the best follow-up. And I thought I had higher expectations for it too. That's the real painful part, is that I had higher expectations for it. And I was disappointed. I was let down. Still haven't finished it. I just don't have the heart. So, you know, I don't want to have K-pop Demon Hunters be the same deal, where like I have these really high expectations placed on me based on all this praise other people are putting on it, and then I watch it and I just don't really like it. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to make people upset. You know? It's just one of those things. I have been watching anime recently, though. You know, let's talk about some of the anime that I've been watching. Been watching Detective Conan. That's been fun. Way too fucking long. Way too fucking long of a show, let me tell you that. They need to end it. They need to end that show. But other than that, I love it. I love the show. It's a masterpiece. End it. Give it an ending, for the love of God. And I've also been watching, for the first time, Trigun. The original Trigun. I'm not looking at that remake. Keep it away from me. I don't want to see it. But yeah, I have been watching the original Trigun. That's been very good. I'm like 15 episodes in, so not super far. But I think the show only has like 20-something episodes. So maybe that's not so bad. But yeah, it's been pretty good. Pretty solid. Maybe skip a few episodes, see if the series gets better. I don't know. Like One Piece, it'll never end. Oda did say that he was going to end One Piece. And, you know, so the creator of Detective Conan also says that he wants to end it soon. But what does soon mean? You know, right? What do you mean by soon? How soon? Like, in a couple months? No, probably not. We're probably looking at a couple years, if we're being completely honest. Conan would have grown back into an adult by now. Well, he wasn't an adult. He was a teenager. That's one of the funny things about the promotional material for Detective Conan. I thought he was supposed to be an adult. Then I watched it. I watched the show. He's not. He's not an adult. He's a teenage detective who gets turned into a child, which I think is actually better. I think it's actually more funny that way, because when you're a teenager, you like want to grow up, and then that adds more comedy to it, is the fact that he, instead of growing up and becoming an adult, he shrinks back down to a child. But if it's an adult, you know, as an adult, you're always thinking, oh man, if only I could be young again, or something like that. If it has less of a comedic impact for an adult to become a child, I think, than a teenager becoming a child. But all the promotional material for Detective Conan is like, oh, body of a child and mind of an adult. And it's like, but he's a teenager. Like normally he's like 17. I don't know, maybe 17-year-old. He was body of a teenager, mind of an adult. Maybe he just has a smart brain, and that's what to tell you. Yeah, Trigun is a classic. It's been pretty good so far. Be warned, it's going to get sad. Well, I mean, it's kind of giving me that impression with how they have like, whoa, I'm like deep on the inside. The main character, Vosh, is just always like, I have a past, and it's a really dark past, man. I used to be bad. Like stuff like that. I'm kind of getting the impression, oh yeah, this is probably going to go in a sad direction. I'm here for it. Let's see how this goes. Grab my popcorn. Yeah, let's see his tragic backstory. I'm all for it. But yeah. I'd like it a lot more if he killed people, but that's just because you know how it is. Yeah, High School Detective, I don't know who confused from an adult until now. Like the commercials for the show, the official commercials for the show say that he has the body of a child and the mind of an adult. And so that confuses people because they think that he's supposed to actually be an adult. It confused me because I thought he was also supposed to be an adult. And then I actually watched the show and I was like, oh, he's not an adult. He's a teenager. Now I see. Okay. It's less weird now. It's less weird and a little bit more funny now, I think. But yeah. You ever watch Outlaw Star? I watched one episode of Outlaw Star, but I did not see the entire series. Yeah. Guys, we are actually past the hour. We did talk about a bunch of cool stuff. I'm happy that we got to end the stream talking about anime. Anime is cool. I like it. I like it a lot. So, we're going to call it here as far as a Friday stream. BaseCon was great. Tragic start to the week. I'm hoping next week is going to be better. We're going to have brighter days ahead. The sun is out. Just keep on looking towards that sun. Don't stare at it too long. It'll blind you. But, you just keep going towards the bright light, and then we'll have happiness somewhere. I don't know. I'm not a motivational speaker. My point is, hopefully, bright, happy things come into the future. So thanks for joining me on another Friday stream. I will have a new video out next week that you guys can watch and enjoy, of course. Until then, goodbye, everybody. Good night, everybody. Join the Discord. I'll post whatever new updates there. And yeah, see you next time, everyone. Bye.